Namaskar friends, this is NJ, your host on this channel. So friends, in this video we will have our discussion on some of the important yogas which will get formed based on your ascendant in the year 2026. So knowing this in advance will be very helpful for you. Like let's say for example, if you are planning this new year for yourself, that which month shall I prioritize for buying a car, which month shall I prioritize for registering my company or for my employment related concerns like my growth potential and discussing it with my bosses. So if you know about that, in which all months planets are going to be perfectly aligned, and you are a kind of person who wants to enter a new year with proper resolution, proper goals and strategies in place, so this video will prove out to be helpful for you. So friends, the way I'm approaching the new year astrology videos for all the rising signs is, in the last video we already had our discussion that how the slow moving planets are going to be influencing you this year. We also talked about that based on the Panchang, which planet is going to be the king and minister of this year. In this video we will talk about the timelines, specific months and dates when planets are going to be forming some like wealth yoga, Raj yogas, and then afterwards based on your interest and participation I will see that shall I make one more video which is going to be much more elaborative. So that will be dependent on the participation. So okay friends, before we will start the discussion and the timelines, just a quick overview of the last video. See, when we talk about the Jupiter's role in your case, so friends, Jupiter in itself tells about, for the Capricorn Lagna, your capacity and with which intensity you could be charitable, or with how much efforts and intensity you can follow the path of the God realization. Because in your case, Jupiter has got a rulership over your 12th house, the Moksha Bhava, and 3rd house of your efforts. And trust me, it's not an exaggeration. Some of the very prominent Hatha yogi and those yogis from the Himalayas and the mountains who indulge into extreme austerities for the God realization, you will find with the prominence of the Capricorn. So friends, in your case, this year Jupiter is going to be passing from the 6th house, 7th house, 8th house. So that in itself tells about that in your job, for any competitive situation, it's a beneficial time. When Jupiter will enter the 7th house, it is going to be very beneficial for the matrimonial blessings, your public image, and those who are purely engaged in business commercial activities. And when Jupiter will transit to your 8th house briefly in the last 2 months, that is also going to be very beneficial time, especially for sadhana and like some passive income gain from the joint resources. It's going to be beneficial for you. When we talk about the planet Saturn, so Saturn is right now transiting in your 3rd house, and it is going to be very powerful, transiting in its own nakshatra. So that means some of the important lifetime projects, initiative, you will be able to implement, execute, and most importantly, if you have any like specific ambition, strategies, goals in place, so this year will give you the opportunity to work on them. Saturn in the Uttara Bhadrapada acts from a place of maturity and the wisdom. Now friends, when we talk about the nodal axis, so yes, a major change is coming your way. Like the way there was this dialogue in Game of Thrones, winter is coming. So that is going to be the case with you with this next nodal shift happening in your 1st house and the 7th house. See, I would say that with this kind of alignment, Rahu in the 2nd house, Rahu in the Aquarius is one of the best placement. But Ketu in the 8th house could be troublesome. So yes, throughout the year you have to be careful, cautious, but afterwards around like December, at the end of the year only, when Ketu will enter in your 7th house, it will open up a new chapter. And we generally say, if you are connected with art, entertainment, creativity, when Rahu transit to the 1st house, it gives you more attention, visibility. The fame prospects tend to remain very strong whenever Rahu is transiting from the 1st house. So okay friends, on this note, now we will start our discussion on the different timelines as it has been written by me for your ascendant. So So friends, first of all, to begin with, see, many Vedic astrologers also make predictions purely on the basis of that on the Chatra Shukla Pratipada calendar, the first day of the new year as per our Vedic lunar calculation. So based on that first day, they make predictions. Some astrologers also make the prediction on the day of the Mesh Sankranti, when Sun transit the Aries. Same is the way we cannot undermine that even the first day of the year and the planetary alignments during that time also gives brief insight. So for your ascendant, you will start the new year with many planets concentrated in your 12th house, like Venus, Mars, Sun. So that in itself tells about that the year will start for the Capricorn Lagna, where you will have many spiritual goals, plans, and along with that some plans for the self transformation as well. In any area of the life, like you have goals for your weight loss, for your public image, any goals, any transformation which you want to bring in your public image, in your finances, in your family life, you want to relocate from one country to another country. So I would say that many people will be driven towards that thought process, that mindset, and somehow stars seems to be aligned in that direction. It's supportive for that. Now friends, comes January 16th. So Mars and Sun is going to be transiting in your first house. So that means Mars, which happened to be your 4th lord, it happened to be your 11th lord. It is going to be exalted in the first house. So that in itself means it's a good combination for the attainment of power, property, and life goals. So you will be very empowered. You are starting the year like with the first month giving you a lot of the power. Like a lot of the power is going to be concentrated onto you, and like there's a high possibility that in whichsoever scenario you are, your capabilities will be trusted. See, sometimes I still remember when I used to go for the auditions and all, even the casting directors, producers, you know, they know that the person who's going to be signed up for the lead, how much responsibility is there. Like imagine so many big mega projects, and they all are riding on the shoulder of like big names like Dwayne Johnson, Tom Cruise. We only look at that the fat checks they get paid, but we forget that whole project is riding on their shoulder, how much pressure they have to deal with. So when you have planets like this, like your ascendant lord in itself is Saturn, so that means power, authority, responsibility comes very natural to you. You're good in that. And now with like Mars, Sun being in this position, so expect some employment opportunities, job opportunities, major responsibilities around January 16th. Mars and Sun in your first house, even where Mars is exalted. Now friends, so the second date which you have to mark is February 23rd. So on Feb 23rd, in your case, Mars, Sun and Rahu are going to be all conjunct in your second house. So that means, because I mentioned, this is called as one of the very good wealth yoga. Like 11th lord and 2nd lord making any combination, or even the like 11th lord like being disposited in the second house. So friends, in your case, because it is happening in the second house, so major financial gains can happen during this time. And also I always say, if your income is connected through questionable means, like you are in a field where you make money from some questionable means, so even for those people this is going to be very beneficial time. Or any income you have from like political projects, like politicians aided supported projects, government supported projects, land supported projects, any weapon connected source of incomes, so stars will support you. Now friends, the next date which you have to mark is in the month of the March. So on March 2nd, Venus, your Yoga planet, will get exalted in your 3rd house. So friends, as you can see that Venus happened to be your 5th lord and the 10th lord getting exalted in the 3rd house. That means if you are a skill-based professional, so during this time on March 2nd, you can expect some turnaround, like some big opportunities, audition calls, employment calls can work out. Females will prove out to be very supportive, and many people will gain from their right mindset because of the support of the collaboration and all. So stars will prove out to be very supportive in the month of the March, especially on the March 2nd. Next date you have to be mindful of is March 11th, when Jupiter will turn direct. Now friends, Jupiter turning direct in the 6th house is in a way supportive energy for you, because see, Jupiter is not a good planet for you. Jupiter's transit in the 6th house is not good for you, and then a planet in such alignment, that too in a retrograde, was in any case a very slow down situation for you, especially when we talk about that no matter how much efforts you are putting in, but it is just getting into conflict, dispute, people are raising objection to it. So at least finally when Jupiter will turn direct in your 6th house on March 11th, at least you will not find, or you do not have to face much rejection and letdowns. Now friends, in the month of the April, on April 2nd, Mars and Saturn conjunction will happen in your 3rd house. So it's a very good combination, like especially if you are in weapons, engineering goods, building material, construction business. So it's going to be a very supportive time for you. And also friends, because when it happens like Mars and Saturn conjunction in the 3rd house, so this is also a time of major breakthrough for people in the tech industry, or for any employment reconsideration. You want to renegotiate your package or the job responsibilities which has been assigned to you. You're not very happy with that. So this is going to be the time when you will consider that. And with Mars and Saturn, there's a lot of the like thrust, a lot of the drive which goes into. Now friends, the next date you have to mark is April 19th. So on April 19th, Venus is going to be transiting in the Taurus. So friends, in your case, Taurus happened to be the 5th house. Venus is your Yoga planet. So very good time if you want to propose someone, if you are connected with art, entertainment, creativity, your personal magnetism is going to be very strong. Even for the students and those who are studying fashion, entertainment, marketing, creativity, it's going to be a good time for all those people. And with Venus being in the 5th house, I always say that it's a pur punya, like, you know, with someone with whom you have some soul level kind of connection, like running into similar kind of person. So that energy is going to be very strong, and some sudden gains as well. So progeny, blessings, and success in the art and the love affairs. Now friends, the next date which you have to mark is the May 11th. So on May 11th, Mars and Sun are going to be there in your 4th house. So like with this entry of Mars in your 4th house, see, we know this thing that in the 4th house of yours, Sun is going to be exalted and Mars is going to be placed in its own sign, own house. That means this is the house of the masses, of big political wins, inner drive, motivation, land, property, your family, domestic life, comforts, conveniences. So it's going to be very supportive. So for many people, this is going to be the time of some big political wins, or even wins in any ancestral disputed situation and all. Now friends, on June 1st, so you can mark this date, Jupiter will get exalted in your 7th house. Very good news. That means in your 7th house, which is the house of your commercial dealing, of your matrimonial life, your public image. So everything is going to be experiencing a spike with this exalted state of the planet Jupiter. So expect matrimonial blessings and commercial gains. So for example, if you are like single and like very hopeful for finding someone or getting into the matrimonial ties, so after June 1st, this chapter will begin in your life. And also friends, with Jupiter turning exalted in your 7th house and your ascendant lord trine to it, like in the 3rd house, so it's in any case, it's a very supportive kind of combination. Now friends, the next date which you have to mark is July 16th. On July 16th, Jupiter and Sun are going to be conjunct in your 7th house. So again friends, this is going to be the time when we say that 7th house is the house of the other people. So some opportunities will come to you for sure. Your public image is going to be the talk of the town. We say that in the 7th house, it's like, you know, the kind of random strange encounters we have with the public. So don't be surprised if suddenly you get discovered or suddenly you run into someone who's very influential and prominent. The only concern is that Sun in your case is the 8th lord as well. So during that time some health concern might be there. This could be the health concern to your spouse as well. But when we talk about some major gains, recognition, visibility, it's going to be supportive time. Now friends, the next important timeline for you is September 18th. So on September 18th, like Mars is going to transit to your 7th house. So that means your 4th lord, Mars, which happened to be your like 4th lord, and the 11th lord is going to transit to your 7th house, and it is going to get conjunct with the planet Jupiter over there. So in a way that the debilitation of the Mars is getting cancelled. So friends, that also tells about that for long period of time you have been facing some domestic rift, domestic problem, some concerns and challenges, issues with your spouse in your marriage. See, because when we talk about Capricorn is not a very expressive sign. And with Capricorn, there's always a burden that I'm elder, I'm mature, I have to maintain a particular kind of, ethics, demonstrate a particular kind of space so that people around me shall respect me. So I mean to say that if there have been some recurring ongoing issues in the marriage, in the business, so with Jupiter exalted and Mars surrendering to it, Mars's debilitation is being cancelled by the Guru in the 7th house. That means you will find the solution. Luck will play a very important role. The blessing, grace, kripa will play a very significant role. So September 18th, friends, be mindful, look forward to that. It's going to be a very important time for you. Like some important churning will happen. And again, see friends, we cannot just go by this fact that this planet is good, this planet is bad. See, we all have wishes and desires. That is the only reason we are born, right? And in your case, it hardly matters whether Mars is a good planet for you or not. Mars has a rulership over the 11th house. And we generally say that the planet in all the rising signs, which is that planet's exaltation sign, the planet is very kind to it. So for example, Aries, Surya, Sun is very kind to the Aries Lagna. We say that Libra Lagna, Saturn is very kind to them because Saturn gets exalted in their 1st house. So yeah, different astrologers, different theories, but one thing is for sure that September 18th will give you or bring some solution in your business, in your public image, in your matrimonial life. And many people will be driven towards buying property, and even that property deal will happen suddenly. Like you would not have expected and planned, you did not see it coming, and suddenly it materialized. So because of the blessing of the Guru, the 4th lord in the 7th house, suddenly some deal happened and you have your property. So high possibility of that. Now friends, October 31st, Jupiter will now finally move to your 8th house. So this is going to be the time which can put you towards more interest in sadhana, meditation, spirituality, human psychology. So it can drive you towards that. And friends, finally, Rahu Ketu shift will happen on December 5th. That is going to be the time when Rahu will come to your 1st house. So it will open many doors of opportunity, fame for you, international exposure. And yes, there's going to be a lot of the hype and curiosity around you in people's mind. And Ketu's transit to the 7th house. So in that period of time, you will attract many soul level connection that can be said. So yes friends, this is something which I wanted to say as a part of my inputs. Once again, thanks a lot for watching this video. And for further more updates and notification, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Dhanyavad.